Okay, yeah, we're live. Hello, everyone. I'm really happy to have some people here in the Zoom with me. And I won't be seeing all of you who is joining on the Facebook, but I still hope that you will get a mass of, what's that word? I forgot. Useful practice. I hope you'll get lots of use out of it. And before we begin, I will invite you to get a pen and a paper or crayons or anything that you can draw or write with. And for those of you who already have it with you, I just invite you to have a few moments to settle, to really arrive. And we'll do it in a special way with our attention. I invite you to feel the space, the sounds of the space outside of your room. Tune into them and feel if you can hear anything or sense anything. And notice how easy it is for you to have the attention And now I invite you to really stay present with the sounds inside your room, even if you don't have any sounds there. Stay really, really present with them. And notice how easy or difficult it is. And now put your attention within, into your body, and tune into your body. Maybe you can feel your perineum, your sit bones, your torso and legs and your spine. And see how easy it is to have attention only inside your body, nowhere else. And now try to feel and hear all three spaces: outside your room, inside your room, and into your body. And take a note to yourself. How are you doing it? And what is easier out of all these four little practices? For most people, it is easier to have their attention either inside the body or outside the room. And outside the room is metaphorically is about our future or about our past. And inside the room is here and now. And for some, being in the body is also here and now. And for some, being in the body is like tuning out and forgetting everything that's outside, or forgetting here and now as well. So that's an interesting practice to have for every day, because if you tune into 3 of the dimensions, you're kind of fully present, and you can be responsive and flexible. And also, since you're in your body, you're grounded. And since you're in the here and now, you can really drink all the juices of being present, with all these colors, with all these tastes, with all the sounds, with all these experiences and pleasure of life. So my name is Nadia, and I'm currently in Moscow, and I'm body-oriented transpersonal psychotherapist. And I really love playing with inner critic, and it's kind of my specialty. I've been doing it for a long time. It's based on the internal family systems therapy model, and I combined it with embodiment, and I already teach it to other psychologists, because I really see how that's an instrument that when I work with my clients, they really use it. They don't like, they learn it and they don't need me at some points, and they become more self-sufficient, and they really feel the power of themselves, and so they feel really empowered. And that's what basically the one of the main reasons why I became a psychologist. So I packed this workshop a lot, so I hope we'll do everything today, and I'll outline what we're gonna do, and then we're gonna start. So uh, first, I'm gonna give you some theory about inner critic. It will be very short, but it's really useful map of what is going on inside our psyche. And when I found it out, when I started practicing it, it made it quite much more simple to deal with my guilt, to deal with my perfectionism, even to deal with procrastination. Me myself, I suffered with depression for 10 years, and that practice was one of the core things to help me get out of it. Yeah, the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna embody ourself, self, like with the big S. This would be connecting to our most resourceful state. And the next part of the practice is we're gonna we're gonna meet our inner critic from the position of self. So that's why we need to connect with self, because we don't want to be blended and melted with the inner critic. So we don't want to feel that I'm totally and fully an inner critic. We want to feel that that's a part of me, and usually it's part that I don't like, and it's blaming also and criticizing another part that I also don't like, maybe, or maybe I like, but I feel criticized. So we want to be fully connected with oneself and with our resources, so we could really not take any part, neither of our critic nor of the part that it criticizes, nor of the part that it's trying to protect by criticism. And that brings me to the theory. In the IFS model, we have this self that I already described a little bit, and we have inner child, which is probably everyone knows about it. And inner child can be also in a resourceful state, and there can be wounded parts, different wounded parts that appeared in different uh, events of our lives. And we, when we're small, for example, I'm being scolded for making a mess in the kitchen when I'm like, I don't know, 4 year old. And then I'm being scolded several times. And then I develop that part of me that says, oh my God, I have to do everything perfect. Everything should stay in the same places, or I mustn't make a mess, or I would guilt myself before even wanting to do something. So I could either start to focus on perfectionism, or I can start guilting myself out and not letting myself be free and really experiment. And that I will be doing that with this other part, the critic. And uh, we usually hate the critic, but it's actually there. It came there. We developed it to help ourselves, to protect ourselves, to kind of try to interact better with our parents, with our friends, try to fit in more, basically to be loved. That's our core, one of the core needs. And of course our core needs to belong, and also our core need is to really express ourselves, to really explore and create in this world, and really move and act from within our core values. But since we already have the critic, mm, uh, we kind of can hesitate, or we can really deplete ourselves, we can really cut off ourselves from our innate uh, resources of our life, of our passion from within us. And that's why, like, a side effect of many of my clients who either work with me privately or go into the online course, many of them, they connect to their passion, they discover what they wanted to do all their lives professionally, and they didn't know before that, just because they really befriended the critic. So that's why I chose this workshop for today, because um, this is a caravan of unity. And I think one of the core ideas is to nurture this inner leadership that everyone has, and inner ability to authentically connect and co-create this world that we want to live in. So we have this part, the self, the wounded child, there can be many of them, the critic, and also there can be a part that is trying to protect us from the critic. And for example, it happens in procrastination, when I have this inner critic who says, okay, you should do this. And my inner child is like, oh my God, there's the whole avalanche of different tasks that I have to do. I don't know what to do now. I feel overwhelmed. And sometimes I also like can get cut off from my energy to do all this stuff. And then the uh, procrastinator comes out, another inner part that is trying to protect me from the critic, and says, okay, relax, chill out, we're not gonna do anything right now, we better like watch some videos, or I don't know, just snuggle with a good cup of hot chocolate. But then we blame ourselves. So there can be the same inner critic, or another part, another inner critic part that criticizes us for nurturing ourselves, nourishing ourselves. And we don't really get this fulfillment from this rest, from this relaxation, and we don't fully relax, and we don't go fully into this parasympathetic or parasympathetic mode, and where our body, our nervous system, our brain really digests information, food, experience, and really replenishes. And we can't actually move forward with any of our activities. We cannot be productive if we don't go into the fully restorative mode, doing nothing, playing, not thinking about stuff to do, not thinking about chores and stuff like that. So I think we all noticed some of our dynamics, inner dynamics that we've got going on in those examples. And now we're gonna go into connecting to self. So you can either sit or stand. I'm gonna stand up because I've been sitting for a while. I hope you can see me well. And I'm gonna put it a bit higher up. Okay, and I invite you to just feel into your body, and you can also put your arms like me if you'd like, and feel your feet standing in the ground. If you're sitting in a like meditation position, also feel your feet and feel your calves and your sit bones, sitting bones. If you stand, feel your feet and your ankles and your knees, and connection from your pelvis to your thighs, to your knees, to your feet. And how do you know these are your feet? It's a really peculiar question. And I invite you. Oh, there's somebody with the mic on here. Caroline, could you please, or Heidrun, could you please mute yourself? Thank you. Just notice how you feel about yourself and the world around right now before we did anything. What are your basic thoughts about yourself? What are your basic thoughts about the world and how the world treats you? And now I invite you, you can either close your eyes or leave them half open, or leave them open as you feel more safe. And I invite you to really, really sink into the feeling of your legs streaming to your feet. And from your feet, imagine how maybe the whole legs or just your feet, they become those roots that go deep into the core of the earth. And you can either sense it, or you can visualize it and sense it at the same time. Or if you more have an audio channel, then you can hear how the roots are growing through the earth, going into that magma, or going through those rocks and under earth rivers, and going through crystals and going into magma, into the core of the earth. And everything you do here is right. The way you do it is your way, and it's the right way. So there's no judgment here, and don't try to perfect it. right now. You're doing everything fine. And now invite either the energy of the earth or the nourishment that you want or the love of the earth, whatever you connect more. Invite it to go into the bones of your feet and allow it into the bones of your feet through the roots, and allow it to spread in your feet as if it's spreading into the sponge, like water spreads into the sponge. And you really fill yourself with this presence and breathe. And now I invite you to go back into the roots and go deep into the earth with your attention and intention, and invite and allow the nourishment or the love or the presence or the energy, whatever you connect with, into your bones of your legs, all the bones till the hips, till the pelvis, and imagine and allow this nourishment to spread into your bones as if it's filling up the sponge, and then to spread into your muscles and into your skin. And breathe. And now go back into the roots. If I'm going a bit too fast for you, it's okay. Just be in your pace. You won't miss anything. Go back into the roots and invite the nourishment into your pelvic bones, into those hip bones, and into your sacrum, your coccyx, and into the organs that are here in your pelvis. And let it spread as if it's a water spreading into a sponge, into your organs, into your bones, into your skin and muscles. And now take a moment to feel your spine and actually feel that your sacrum, yeah, it's here, your sacrum, it's actually something different than your hip bones. Your sacrum belongs to your spine. And feel the whole spine up to the head. And now when you've sensed your spine, and remember your spine is really thick, it's like your neck. Yeah, it's going like it's almost a half of your body. It's really thick, it's really good access that we've got, really strong and flexible. And now go into the roots with your attention and intention into the earth, and invite, allow the nourishment from the earth go through your feet and legs and pelvis into your spine, spreading all the way up, spreading all the way up, nourishing it, maybe giving it some fine-tunement. I feel it as if it's like an oil that helps all the details of the spine move better. And when you will be doing this practice again, you can have different sensations and different visuals every time. It's totally fine. Now go back into the roots again and breathe in through your feet. Allow it to go through your feet to your legs, your pelvis, and into your belly, all under your ribs, all this area below your ribs, your solar plexus. There's your liver and your stomach, all this space in between your lower back and your belly button. Breathe. Now go back into the roots and invite and allow the nourishment, the love, the presence to go through your feet, into your legs and your belly, into your chest, into the ribs, into your clavicles, into your lungs and into your heart, in the core of your bones and in the core of your heart and your lungs. And then let it spread. Allow it to fill you fully with those juices of life, with your presence, with the presence of earth energies. And those who don't resonate with energies, it's really a metaphor of life. The earth is really a metaphor of life that keeps on living and has all the cycles like we do. Let yourself be filled, fulfilled. Now go back into the roots and invite and allow the nourishment to fill you up through your whole body. Track it through your whole body into your shoulders and into your arms and into your fingers and what are those called? Nails. As if you have this long sleeves or long gloves and you feel it from the inside. Your bones, your muscles, your skin, or just the space. If you don't resonate with the bones and the muscles, just the space of your body inside. And go back into the roots now and invite through the whole body this nourishment from your roots, from the earth, till your neck, your throat, your tongue, your jaw, two jaws, into your eyes, into your skull, into your brain, and hair follicles. And let it spread. Now the last but not least, feel your whole body connected, neck connected to torso, spine, legs connected to hips, feet connected to the earth, and go back into the roots. And breathe into your whole body, through the feet, up, through the spine and organs and head, and make kind of like a fountain out of the top of your head that is nourishing, that is going all around you, like making a sphere around you, a sphere of your presence. And you can say internally that I have my space in here. I have my space in the world. And now start slowly opening your eyes if you had them closed, and go deep into the roots again, and do the same with the open eyes through the whole body. Make a fountain and feel your sphere and move a little bit with the sphere and with this fully fulfilled body. And notice, how do you think about yourself now? How do you feel about yourself now? How do you perceive the world? How do you think that the world treats you? And have a few moments just moving with the senses of the earth and your roots and your sphere, and you feeling fully connected. Allow your body to lead you. Allow yourself to be moved by your connected self, by your whole united self. And if you don't want to move, it's totally fine. You can notice the small movement that is happening in your body, even when you don't move. And ask your body to remember this state of presence. Dear body, please remember this state so I could tune into it anytime I want. Dear body, please remember this state of presence, this feeling, so I could tune into it anytime I want. And repeat it 3 times. So I'm gonna sit down with you and now I invite you either to sit or to stand, and we're gonna go into working with inner critic. You can be writing things down if it's easier for you. You don't have to. And I'm gonna make myself more comfortable here. Oops. All right. So, keep this state with you and look at the situation as if you're looking at a movie where you have this inner critic come up. Either it's a perfectionist, either it's the one who is telling you, oh, you have to do this, this, and that today, or maybe it's someone who is guilting you out for something. Or maybe it's someone who inside you who says, oh, you should act like that, or you should be like that. Maybe you just have this really bad feeling sometimes. Sometimes it also comes in the form of shame, which is like really the worst, and sometimes, like most of the times, it's the most difficult to interact. So I won't advise you to take shame right now. So yeah, someone who maybe criticize you for having a rest or for talking to your children in a nasty way, or to your partner. So I hope you named the critic, and then you can imagine this critical part. Like, remember, what does it say to you? You can write it down. You don't have to, but if it helps you focus better, you can write it down. What are the words it's saying to you? Maybe it says you're not good enough, or you're gonna not succeed if you're not gonna do all this pile of stuff right now, if you're gonna be resting now. Or that you will ruin your relationship if you act like that. And now list the emotions that the critic is feeling, not you, because yeah, I can feel hurt or I can feel guilty, but my inner critic would feel maybe anger towards me, or I don't know what else, pity towards me. I'm giving you the time to either put it in words inside or to write it down. And the emotions that you are feeling is actually what the wounded part is feeling. We're not going to work with it today because it's a whole big process. We have only an hour, but we're going to talk to the critic, and it's going to be a really nice first step. So you can list those emotions that you're feeling, and you can see maybe it's guilt, yeah, maybe it's fear, maybe it's helplessness. And you can also write them down. And this part has other thoughts about itself, or you think you have those thoughts about you if you don't disconnect, like detach from the part. So we can think I'm not good enough, I'm gonna stay alone, I'm not gonna succeed, and all stuff like that. I have a kitty here. Hello. So now I invite you to see this critic part, to have an image. Like it can be a personified, like a humanoid, like it can be like a little you or a big you, or it can look like a cloud or like a unicorn, although probably unicorn won't criticize you. But so have the image of your critic. Maybe it's an image of a teacher or of a judge or of your grandfather. I don't know. Things happen. And you can have also, if you already wrote down or have this acute feelings of the wounded part, you can also have the image of the wounded part. Maybe it's a little baby, maybe it's you as a kindergarten age, or maybe it's like, I don't know, also a little ball or a leaf or a flower or an angel, can be anything. Okay, I hope you're all set. Now I invite you to again get connected to that state of self, of being grounded and connected, and see that critic and ask it, what's his or her name? Might not have a name. And ask it, what are you wishing for me? What is your deepest wish for me? What do you really want? And let the answer come from within, or from that inner critic, from that image that you're looking at. Um, there can be many things that come up, or there can be only one thing that come up. If it's not something positive that is like really what you like, that you also resonate, that you would also want that for yourself, then ask it, what is it trying to protect you from? And sense how, when you have this critic active, how does it feel in your body? Like, do you have tension somewhere, or maybe pain or numbness? And when you've heard something that is positive that you would want for yourself as well, for example, yeah, I'm trying to protect you from failure, or I'm trying to protect you from losing your partner, or uh, trying to protect you from feeling guilt that you screwed your children. Um, yeah, try to really see it and to really authentically, sincerely say to the critic that, wow, I really want that to myself as well, for myself as well. This is also what I want for myself. This is also what I value. And maybe you can feel real appreciation and gratitude that the critic is trying to, not in the best ways, because it's been created when you were very little and really didn't know how to achieve all those stuff. Uh, but it's really trying to make you feel better, trying to take care of you, of your life in some way. And the intention behind these actions are actually really loving, really trying to take care of you. So try to like sincerely feel that appreciation to the critic. And when you do express it and feel, sense how it is in your body when you express it, what emotions are coming up. And now see the critic really feeling it. See the critic really receiving this appreciation. And how does it make your body feel? When the critic that's usually used to you criticizing the critic, now it kind of sees, wow, we're actually on one side with each other. We actually want the same thing. We can actually be a team if we like find our ways to interact and accept each other. And you can take a minute now to kind of move in with your body with this new sense of like new connection, that you found this common ground with the critic, and maybe you can feel some of your tensions a bit more released in your body. You can move while sitting down, or you can get up and take a moment to move. How does your posture feel? How does your whole body is feeling? Maybe it's lighter, or maybe it's more full and heavy in a good way. And now I invite you to show to the critic that wounded part. If you have the image of the wounded part, if you don't have yet, don't worry, you can rewatch this workshop and make it. But yeah, you can show, if you don't have the wounded part yet, you can show to the critic yourself and show it how the actions of the inner critic, how the words of the inner critic makes that part feel or make you feel. Like, say that I really appreciate what you want from me, but the way you try to make it happen makes me feel this and that. And see how the critic hears that, how it processes it. Does it have anything to say in regards to that? Maybe it didn't even know that it makes you feel like that. Or maybe it says, yeah, you deserve to feel like that. And interact about it. Go into a little dialogue. And now you can ask it to maybe find together some other ways to achieve that wish, that value that you both want for yourself, but through different actions, through different words, through different feelings, through different bodily sensations. Ask it, say that, look, see what it does. Let's find some other ways to make it happen. And you can come up with the ways right now, or in many cases, in a critic, well, this part, what we did now, it's actually what we're doing like 2 or 3 sessions with some of the clients. So it can be like a deep work, a long work, and it's okay. Some critics are really so rooted and so into the way that they think it's right. No, it needs more interaction, and when there's lots of resentment in between you, it needs more communication and more love, more time to build this relationship. So yeah, maybe right now you cannot come up with any ways to make a new agreement with it. So okay, now you can remind me about my tasks, but not in a criticizing way, but in an encouraging way, like, yay, we're gonna do it, we're gonna do 1 step, 2 step, don't worry, you're gonna get it done. You can ask the critic to become your cheerleader. But sometimes it can be a bit of a stretch for a critic, so it can be built slowly. And sometimes this work, this appreciation that it received right now, and this request from you to act differently is needing time to process, that the critic needs time to process it, to really sit with it, to think about it, and to see if it can trust you enough that you won't screw up without him, because he knows what's better. So see how the critic is now relating to you after this interaction. See how your body feels. And if you achieved some agreement, new agreement, just try to set the time, the new meeting with it. Say, let's meet with you like in the next few days and see how it's going. And agree with it that you'll remind it if it starts to criticize you again, you'll remind it that you learned a new way of achieving that together. And please, can you stick with it? And let's see how it works. Let's take some time to see that the new strategy can work. So with some critics, it can be really fast. With some, it can take more time, and there needs work to be done with the wounded parts and with the opposing parts. But I hope you already received some value from this work, and you can come back to this recording. And I would like to leave you with a little homework, as I usually do. I invite you to draw the self, draw this sensation, that feeling, the state of presence of self. So you can have this image, maybe with colors, and that really connect with that state and draw it. And then you can have it with you, or you can have it as a picture on your phone, and you can come back to it and ground again and embody that state. And when you feel those criticizing thoughts again, you go back to the self and dialogue with them. Don't keep it as a monologue, just dialogue with it. And take care of your wounded part. This is the second homework. Third, okay, the dialogue is the second. Third is to really parent that wounded part. Tell it that I see your pain, acknowledge it. And then say, I'm here for you and I will always be here for you. You're safe with me. So first acknowledge and then soothe. Don't soothe straight away, because then you will be rejecting it. First acknowledge, then soothe. Or too many weird sounds. Okay, it's my time now, and I'm really happy that some of you connected here in Zoom, and some of you gonna connect on Facebook later. And I'm wishing you a really great week and a great Sunday.